Long time no see. Sorry for being away, but you know, I'm not going to go too much into it, but I've had a lot of bad stuff happening in my personal life at the moment, and yeah, I just haven't really had the time or felt like making a video. But I am back, and I'm back with a really exciting video because I recently, well yesterday, I picked up the Vice palette by Urban Decay, and I'm pretty sure everyone would know what this is, but let me just start off by saying, one thing before I start, sorry about the state of my hair, I've just got out of the shower, and if you want to know what I've got on my face, the next video that will be posted will be a tutorial with this look from the Vice palette. So anyway, sorry, back to what I was saying. When I first saw this palette come out a couple of weeks ago, or heard that it was going to be released, sorry, I didn't think I was going to pick it up because Urban Decay claimed that it was 20 new eyeshadows. A lot of people were saying it's their equivalent to the Book of Shadows because they normally bring something like that out during this time of the year, and I bought the one from last year. And yeah, when I saw the colours at first, I was a bit like, oh, you know, they look really similar to ones that I've already got. I think I'll pass on it because realistically I don't need another Urban Decay palette, and everybody knows that, but I do love makeup, obviously. So yeah, I was like, oh, I'm not going to get it, and then I went into town and I had a look at it and I was like, oh, actually it's really nice, but I was like, no, I don't need it. Anyway, in my head I was battling myself going, oh, you don't need it, you know, it's fine. Then I saw loads of tutorials being posted and everyone raving about it and saying how beautiful and pigmented the colours were, so I cracked and I bought it yesterday. And it's actually a funny story because I was in town the whole of yesterday and I purposely didn't go by the shop because I was like, you know, I don't need it, it's just a waste of money, you know, because it is £42, which is quite a lot of money, and I was just like, no, I'm going to stay away. Then I came home, watched a video on YouTube, and I was like, I need to go back down to town, so I drove all the way back to town before the shop closed and bought it anyway. So I should have just got it in the first place, because when I'm thinking about something, I'm one of those people that I won't let it drop in my mind. So anyway, enough talking negative about the palette. I'm going to start talking about the positives about the palette, because obviously there must be good positives or else I wouldn't have bought it. So when I had a look at the palette, I was really impressed that they've made it, this is what the front looks like. It's kind of like if you've ever felt NARS products, it feels the same. It's quite thin and quite small, which is nice, really light. And it has the UD in jewelled writing similar to the 15th anniversary palette, and there's a button here, and when you press it, it opens by itself. And a lot of people were saying that they love the mirror, the fact that it stands up and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I do, but it's not what sold the palette to me. It was literally the colours. So I'm going to cover it with tissue so I don't blind you, because the mirror is so big. But these are what the colours look like up close. They are really, really pretty, and I'm just going to talk to you about them briefly and run through a couple of my favourites, because I'm not going to swatch them all because there's tons of videos of this already and I feel like I'd just be repeating myself, but I will show you a couple of my favourites and tell you why they're my favourites, and maybe just one or two that I'm not so keen on. It came with a brush this year, similar to one that came in the Naked 2 palette, you know, like a flat on one end and a fluff on the other, but this one seems thinner and I don't think it's the same quality, but it just might be me. Yeah, so basically it's got quite a lot of unusual colours in, which is why I chose to get it, because realistically there's only one brown in here really. There's a grey coloured brown and a greeny brown, but there's only one brown in my eyes. So most of the colours are a bit unique. When I saw it, the first thing that sort of put me off was there's two colours in here which I feel like are basically the same as what came in the 15th anniversary palette, and I'm going to show you them in a second swatched together, because one of them is a definite dupe and the other one is pretty bang on. I mean, on the eye, I don't think you'd notice any difference. So, the first colour which I noticed that there is a dupe for in the 15th anniversary colour palette is the colour Noise, and this one is the one where I'm going to say it's not exactly the same, but to be honest with you, on the eye, I don't think you'd notice a difference. So I'm going to swatch this one, and it looks like this. It's kind of a pink colour with subtle gold shimmer, and the one that is really similar is Junk Show, which is this one from 15th anniversary, and it leans a tiny bit more purple and it's a bit better pigmented, but realistically on the eye I don't think you can notice that much difference, to be quite honest. So that's those two. Now this next one, which is the only other one which I found a dupe for, is I think exactly the same. It might just be me, you guys might disagree, but this is just my opinion. And in the Vice palette it's called Unhinged, and in the 15th anniversary it is called Deep End. And there they are side by side. Now if you were going to be really picky again, you could say this one's a tiny bit more green, but to be honest with you, on the eye I wouldn't notice any difference between either of those two. And also I don't really ever wear blues or much greens. It depends on what kind of green it is, but if it's a bright blue or bright green, you won't catch me wearing it. So colours like pinks and blues are not my favourite colours anyway, so I would have been happier if they would have skipped those colours, but I understand why they put them in. Now talking about some of the ones that I absolutely love, my absolute favourite colour in this palette is so pigmented. I'm actually wearing it on my lids today, just a tiny bit of it, and it's called Blitz, and that is just one small swipe, and it is this colour here. And the only thing I've got similar to this in my collection is in a Too Faced palette. I think it's the Naked or Natural Eye, one of those two, and it's quite similar to that, but I don't have anything in Urban Decay that is similar. It's a lot more yellow than things like Half Baked, and it's a lot more metallic, and it's absolutely beautiful. Now another colour which I love, I'm also wearing right now, can you see a trend happening? And it's called Muse, and this is the only brown, I would say in my opinion, in this palette, and it's quite a dark brown, and it doesn't look like it'd be that dark when you see it in the pan. And it's got I would say gold and purpley duochrome slightly to it. It's quite a warm brown. It is absolutely beautiful, and it's got subtle sparkles in, as you can see, and I'm wearing that in my crease and under my eye today, and I love it. Another colour that drew me to this palette is one called Armour, and this is kind of like a taupey, slightly grey purpley colour, and I really like this colour because I find silver is really hard to wear. Because my hair is so blonde, I feel like if I wear too much silver I look a bit like a tranny or a tart, but that's just my opinion. It might be just the way it looks on me. There's only certain kinds of silvers and greys I can pull off, but I feel like because this one's more taupey, it's got more browny kind of purpley colour to it, it will look really good blended in the crease. The last two of my favourites, one of them is called Nevermind, and this is a beautiful colour. You'll notice a lot of my favourites are neutrals, and normally I do like more unusual colours. It's this colour here, and it's just like a really light goldeny, caramelly sort of hot chocolate kind of coloured brown, and I think this will look beautiful for the winter, because I just love wearing warm colours on my eyes year round, but I think this is just a really kind of wintry kind of colour. Now the next one that I love is quite similar. It's called Echo Beach, and this one's kind of more of a pale true sort of gold, and I think those two would look really nice together. It's just that one there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it very well. It's not necessarily a really unique colour, but I think because the pigmentation is so strong, it's a really nice colour to have, because you can really pack it on and make it look really metallic. Now the other one that I like, but I didn't want to add in as my favourite because of the formulation, is the colour Provocateur. Now it's had a lot of negative sort of feedback so far because it's quite chunky, I mean you can see there, but I'm going to try using this with a really sticky base. Now I was thinking of using Nubile by MAC, really patting it into that and then seeing what happens, because the colour is really pretty. It's kind of like a sort of mauvey, silvery purple colour with lots of shimmer, and I think if it could portray the way it does in the palette, then it would be absolutely stunning. But I feel like it kind of, when you blow on it, it kind of all goes away. It's kind of quite crumbly, quite dry, and one of the only letdowns. I will really quickly run through the colours that I don't think are as good as the other ones, and I think it's because UrbanDecays have spoiled us this time, because the pigmentation in the ones that I'm not going to mention now are insane, like ridiculous. Like you'd swipe your finger and you'd have enough for like a week's worth of eyeshadow. It's ridiculous. So I feel like this is why the other colours feel so crappy, should I say, but I'm not complaining, because, you know, hell, out of all of these eyeshadows, just 3 of them that I feel like are a bit, So obviously one of them's Provocateur. Even though I love the colour, I feel like it's going to be hard to wear. The next one is Jagged, which you'll hear a lot of people talk about. Again, it's one of those kind of chunky colours. It's such a pretty olivey green brown, but I feel like it's quite gritty when you swatch it. It's got lumps, and I feel like it'd be quite hard to pull off. The last one is Freebird, which I actually used in this tutorial in my inner corners. Well, I don't know if you can see. And it's kind of like a pinky kind of gold kind of colour. And that's quite a, well, that's one swatch. Compared to the rest, you can't even see it. It kind of is there, but it disappeared. So I had to, excuse me, I had to really pack it on to my inner corners. But when I did, it looks really pretty, but it's just, you'd have to work with those 3 colours compared to the others, because I mean one swipe of the other ones and literally, you see how dark the outer corners are in my eye. I got my brush, let's say this is my brush, just for example, and I went, and that was enough for all of this. So that is how pigmented these are. Like, if you're thinking about getting this like I was, I would say go get it, because it is limited edition. I don't know how long it's going to be around for. I mean, when I went and seen this palette the first time, there was about 20. When I went this time, there was 4. So if you want this palette, or you want someone to buy it for you for Christmas or something like that, go get them to buy it now, because I don't know, I just feel like it's going to sell out really quick, because there's a lot of videos of it on YouTube, and yeah, it's just a really pretty palette. Do I think it's worth the 40? Yes. 42, sorry. Yes, it's definitely worth the 42. If you've got as many eyeshadows as I have, realistically, no, you don't need it. But I do collect makeup, and I am glad that I got this palette, because some of the colours in here are just amazing, and I know I'll get a lot of use out of them. So really quickly, because this is going to be a super long video otherwise, I'm just going to hold the 2 up, the 2 palettes which I feel like are the closest, so that you get a quick look of the 2. In case you were thinking, oh, if I've got the 15th anniversary, do I need it? I'm going to hold them up close. These are what they look like together. If you've got this one, yes, there are 2 quite similar colours, but the rest of them are completely different. So I recommend getting it. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I will catch you in my next video, and please thumbs up this video if you like videos that are reviews, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks, bye. Mwah.